Listening is so important. A good listener is given far more importance as compared to a speaker. And this sounds really cool because just by listening to people, you can create a kind of an impression which can take the conversation as well as your dealings with that particular person forward in a beneficial way. So listening is so important. We are going to talk about 5 rules of listening which are really going to help you become a good listener. The first rule: always look towards the speaker. So once, if you're talking to somebody, if somebody is speaking in front of you, look towards him. Don't look here or there. Look towards the speaker. Keep on looking at him or her till the time he or she speaks. And this makes the other person feel important. This makes the other person feel like you are listening to them. And always do sincerely listen to them. It's not just about looking at them. Looking at them is one of the things which actually shows that you are giving them importance. You're giving an importance to what they're actually talking about. But that listening has to be sincere. Your mind should be present over there itself. The second thing is that sometimes it's advised that, in order to convey that you are listening intently, you're listening sincerely, you can bend slightly towards the speaker. Like, so suppose there's somebody who is sitting just beside me and he or she is taking part in a GD, let us suppose, and if she's talking about something or he's talking about something, I will just lean towards her and just, give her or him a hearing ear. This really helps because the other person feels that you're really, listening to them. And trust me, guys, if you start following this thing, that you start leaning towards the speaker, let us suppose the speaker is just in front of you, you lean like this to give your ears to him, right? Your listening ears to him. This goes on a long way for you to qualify a good GD as well. So listening is that very important. It's as important as speaking. So what was the first thing? The first thing was you should look towards the speaker. The second thing is that you may lean a little bit towards the speaker to give a hint that you are listening sincerely. The third thing which is important, that is the third rule of listening, is that you ask questions. Now asking questions give an indication, proves to the speaker that you were listening to them. So once you ask question, and questions have to be relevant. Questions need not be asked just for the sake of asking question. They have to be very, very relevant questions. And once you ask those questions, the speaker feels that you have been listening to them. Trust me, guys, more interviews and more sales gets converted by asking relevant questions to the client. Because that gives them an opportunity to believe that you were listening to what they were talking. First thing. Second thing, that gives them an opportunity to talk about their own selves. And then again, going back to the previous rule, if you have met that person talk about their own self, or you're talking about them, it makes them feel more important and you take the conversation in the right way. The fourth rule of being a good listener is that you don't use I, me, etc. Rather, most of the times you use the word you, your, etc. to portray that you have been talking about somebody who was the speaker. So likewise, somebody was talking about some point, about how corrupt this particular system is. Now, rather than saying that, I believe, rather than starting with I believe, you should tell to them that as you told this point, and I just want to add to that, to your point. The more use of you and your to your statements do really mean that you have been hearing to the speaker. And this really, really helps. This is helpful for GD, this is helpful for interviews, this is helpful for your normal conversations, no matter those conversations are in your professional life or in your personal life. You can apply it anywhere. The fifth, very important rule in being a good listener is that stick to the speaker's subject. So let us suppose you are in a conference and that's an interactive conference. And most of the MBA guys will relate to me as well. Even, the graduate people, you have a lot of guest lectures inside your campus, which is happening. Now, suppose a guest lecturer, a guest person comes there and he's talking about a particular subject. And if you happen to ask a question for them, stick to the subject on which the speaker has been talking about. Don't change the subject. This actually helps to make the speaker feel that you have been thinking about the same subject he or she has been talking about. That makes him or her feel very important. That makes him or her feel important about the subject he or she has been talking about. So stick to the subject, ask questions related to the subject, don't drift here or there. This really helps. So these are all the 5 rules of listening. If these 5 rules are followed, they really help you become a good listener. And becoming a good listener is as important, guys, as becoming a good speaker.